Welcome to One Chapter Closer. We're in the book of Acts, chapter 21, verses 26 to 36. Paul is arrested. So Paul went to the temple the next day with the other men. They had already started the purification ritual, so he had publicly announced the date when their vows would end and the sacrifices would be offered for each of them. The 7 days were almost ended when some of the Jews from the province of Asia saw Paul in the temple and roused a mob against him. They grabbed him, yelling, "Men of Israel, help us. This is the man who preaches against our people everywhere and tells everybody to disobey the Jewish laws. He speaks against the temple and even defiles this holy place by bringing in Gentiles." For earlier that day, they had seen him in the city with Trophimus, a Gentile from Ephesus, and they assumed that Paul had taken him into the temple. The whole city was rocked by these accusations, and a great riot followed. Paul was grabbed and dragged out of the temple, and immediately the gates were closed behind him, and they were trying to kill him. The word reached the commander of the Roman regiment that all Jerusalem was in an uproar. He immediately called his soldiers and officers and ran down among the crowd. When the mob saw the commander and the troops coming, they stopped beating Paul. Then the commander arrested him and ordered him bound with 2 chains. He asked the crowd who he was and what he had done. Some shouted one thing and some another. Since he couldn't find the truth in all of the uproar and confusion, he ordered that Paul be taken to the fortress. As Paul reached the stairs, the mob grew so violent, the soldiers had to lift them on their shoulders to protect him, and the crowd followed behind him, shouting, "Kill him, kill him."